Hey everyone, buckle up because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of international trade.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
It is. We're going to be talking about Japan and more specifically, their growing appetite for Mexican agricultural products.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, it seems like Mexico is really stepping up as an agricultural powerhouse, and Japan is more than happy to be a consumer of all these great products.
I see. And I understand we're getting some insider info from a company called Nichiboku Ltd.
Exactly. They've got some really cool insights on what's hot, what's trending, and most importantly, what it means for all of us, for consumers, and, well, for everyone, really.
So like a global food chain kind of thing.
You got it. So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
All right, so 2023, Mexico exported a mind-blowing amount of avocados to Japan.
How much are we talking about?
Over $121.1 million worth.
Whoa. I mean, I knew avocados were popular, but that's a lot of guacamole. What's driving that demand?
Well, that's a great question. And to answer it, we need to look at the bigger picture.
I'm all ears.
Japan's population is aging, right? And so, naturally, their dietary needs and preferences are changing too.
Makes sense. Older folks might be looking for healthier options, and avocados are full of good fats.
Exactly. And on top of that, there are new trade agreements in place that make it much easier and more affordable for Japanese consumers to get their hands on Mexican products.
So it's like a win-win situation, right?
Yeah.
Mexico gets a new market for their products, and Japan gets access to delicious, healthy food.
Precisely. And get this. This isn't just a one-time thing.
Oh.
Avocado exports are still going strong. Already $41 million in the first part of this year,
Right.
2024.
Wow, so it's not just a fad.
Not at all. But it makes you think, what does this mean for the average Mexican farmer?
Well, I would say this is a fantastic opportunity for them. They get access to a whole new market, which could potentially lead to increased income and help them grow their businesses.
And it's not just about avocados, right?
Nope. We're seeing similar trends with other products, too. Bluefin tuna and strawberries, for example.
Okay, yeah. Those were mentioned in our notes. Let's dig into those a bit.
Sure. So, strawberries. Mexican strawberries are becoming increasingly popular in Japan.
Really? More so than, like, American strawberries?
Yep. They're giving traditional suppliers like the US and Korea a run for their money.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, they're known for their quality and flavor, and Mexico has great conditions for growing them.
Interesting. What about bluefin tuna?
Ah, bluefin tuna. That's a whole different ball game with its own set of complexities.
I'm all ears. I know it's a really prized fish in Japan, but what makes the Mexican bluefin tuna stand out?
Well, Japan and bluefin tuna, they have a really long and deep cultural connection, you know?
Yeah, I've heard it's like a staple in their cuisine.
Exactly. And they are very, very particular about the quality.
I can imagine. So the Mexican bluefin tuna must be top-notch to meet those standards.
Absolutely. And like with other Mexican agricultural products, the trade agreements make it more cost competitive.
I see. So it seems like there's a lot for businesses to think about when it comes to navigating this market.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of moving parts.
And that's where a company like Nichiboku Ltd comes in.
Precisely. They help businesses, really capitalize on these opportunities.
What kind of things do they do?
They offer consulting services, market analysis, basically everything a company needs to understand the Japanese market and adapt to it,
So if any of our listeners are thinking about getting involved with Mexican agricultural exports to Japan, it sounds like Nichiboku Ltd could be a really valuable resource.
Absolutely. They can definitely help guide you through the process.
It's just so fascinating to see how these international trade relationships develop and evolve.
Yeah.
And how they impact everyone involved. From, the farmers in Mexico all the way to the consumers in Japan.
It really highlights how interconnected we all are, especially through something like food, which is such a basic human need.
Totally. It makes you wonder what other Mexican agricultural products could find success in Japan.
Who knows? Maybe mangoes, spices. The possibilities are endless.
So much potential.
Yeah.
And that's something for all of us to think about, right? The next time you're enjoying a meal, maybe with some Mexican flavors, think about the journey that food took to get to your plate.
Yeah. It's a pretty amazing story when you think about it.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic.
Until next time.
See ya.